Time to talk a little, what else? Eagles offense. Eagles insider Dave Spadaro with Frank Reich, Eagles offensive coordinator. Frank, I guess the big question is, why do you think, and these fans want to know, this offense can continue to operate at a high level with Nick Foles as quarterback?
Well, first of all, Nick Foles has already proven, and right here in this town, in this city, and showed everybody here exactly what he can do. So I'm excited for Nick and the opportunity. I mean, it comes under very tough circumstances. I mean, we've lost some great players already, you know, when you think about losing JP and Sproles and the like, and now Carson. So it's a both and, but excited about the opportunity for Nick, primarily because he's got great talent around him, and we've been on a roll. Got a good offensive line, good skill guys around him, so I anticipate Nick stepping up and making a lot of plays.
Any sense of what defenses will try to do to Nick?
No, I mean, in the sense of, you can look at it one day. This guy's not quite as athletic as Carson. Of course, not too many guys are. So you could look at it. Well, let's pressure him. Well, that's good. Go ahead and pressure us, because Nick's really smart and he's great. He's faced it. He's seen it all before. So whether they want to drop in coverage, bring pressure, you prepare for all of it. You understand. You don't know exactly how they might perceive it, but we'll be ready to roll.
How has the offensive group kind of responded in these days after Carson's injury? I guess just from the sense of, I don't want to try to do too much. If I do my job, the guy next to me is going to do his job.
That's all it is. Everybody's got to, there's two things. Everybody does their job. You use the adversity to rally together as a team. Because it's your quarterback, you probably rally that much more. Defense, hey, let's go, you know, special teams, the offense rallies around Nick. You want that, you welcome that, and you use that energy, and that's what we're seeing.
If I may ask a question that comes from a novice perspective, okay, let's say I'm a defensive coordinator, which you would love to see, and I just want to load the box and say, Nick Foles beat me. So how do you respond to that? Can you run against those kinds of stacked boxes, number one? And is Nick then going to stand up there and go, wow, I got one-on-one coverage out here, I'm going to win these battles?
Absolutely, and that was a big thing of the offseason, to increase. We already increased the talent so that we can win those one-on-one battles, and that's why the guys that were brought here. And you know, Nick already had a year where he's thrown 27 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, went to the Pro Bowl, was the MVP of the Pro Bowl. So he's already proved that if you stack the box on him, because that year that he had that great year, the Eagles were a very good running team, you know, rushing team, and there is still ways to. to run the football against loaded boxes as well, and I think we've done a pretty good job at that this year.
I know you did it as a player, backup quarterback. Have you been in this situation as a coach previously?
No, I don't have not been in, you know, quite in this scenario where playoffs and all that stuff is.
What is the challenge of bringing along the backup quarterback? I guess we're going to find out in this down the stretch situation.
Well, you know, normally the challenge would be just to get him to be himself, to don't try to do too much, just understand, but you have this great team around you. But I think in Nick's case, the guy's so mature, he's got such good perspective on things, he's so comfortable in his own skin, he already has all this proven playmaking ability. I think it makes our job a lot easier.
How impressive was it on Sunday that Nick, who had no reps with these starting skill position players, goes in the fourth quarter, 2 field goal drives, and then sticks the 3rd and 8 pass to Nelson? I mean, that is really, against a good defense, that's really impressive stuff.
It was incredibly impressive. I could literally sit here and talk all day about that's hard to do coming off the bench like that, leading those drives. And like you said, the throw on 3rd and 8 to seal the game. I mean, that was a clutch throw by him. I give him a lot of credit.
What are the Giants going to do defensively here on Sunday? It's a lot different than Week 3 with that football team.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I mean, if I'm a backup like Nick is coming in, this is probably about as difficult as a week as it could be because of the pressure package that Spagnuolo brings. I mean, it's very exotic and diverse, multiple looks, great disguise. I mean, you got to be on it. Okay, so. Now, it is a division opponent. We've already played them one time this year, so we've already prepared for this. So that's a little bit of an advantage to Nick. But they got a good defensive scheme. They're really good up front, so it'll be a good challenge for us.
Frank, I know you're looking ahead, but if you could just for a moment put in perspective the season that Carson Wentz had. Year 2 in the NFL, 33 touchdown passes, 7 interceptions, handled every situation, as he's done since the day he got here, flawlessly.
I mean, it gives me chills really to think about the year he had in year 2. I think we all knew the upside. but I just think he exceeded it this year so fast. A lot of credit to his teammates, especially the offensive line, for what they did. But Carson worked his butt off, and he's a fearless player, made plays. The thing that's most impressive to me is that when you get a guy that can make all the plays that he makes, but the decision making was so good just to protect the ball the way that he protected it and not put our team in harm's way, but yet still had the aggressiveness and the playmaking ability to help us score a lot of points and throw a lot of touchdowns.
He's really special, isn't he?
He's special.
Frank Reich in studio. Thanks so much for joining us. Frank Reich, presented by the Rothman Institute at Jefferson.